The Zimbabwe Republic Police is a people's police service whose mandate is to maintain law and order in the country. We seek to achieve this through partnering members of the public, hence this platform where we interact to forge a common front in fighting crime. Elliot Kudzai Ganyani is my name. It is always a pleasure to have you along. In a bid to give accurate and consistent messages about the COVID-19 disease, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services has partnered the Ministry of Health and Child Care and the Zimbabwe Republic Police in cascading this correct and vital information through distribution of booklets to target groups such as traditional leaders, religious leaders, parents, among others. The Zimbabwe Republic Police continues to enforce government directives, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic. Just recently, in Mashonaland East Province, police partnered Marondera District COVID-19 Task Force to disperse a total of 127 people who were gathered at Prophet Ezekiel Chikoto's shrine, purportedly for spiritual healing, in contravention of the government directive banning gatherings of more than 50 people.
We received the reports that there were large numbers of people residing at Mr. Chikoto's homestead. We then came to assess the situation. We established that there were quite a number of pregnant women who had come to be assisted by the prophet. There were also some sick people who are occupying a number of improvised tents behind the Chikoto main house. So we came with the view of ensuring that those people who had come for assistance should be dispersed so that they go back to their original places of residence. At the same time, we also came with a team from the Ministry of Health who are assisting us with screening to see if there are any of the occupants showing any signs of infection. At the same time, we are here also to ensure that the makeshift camp is dismantled today so that everyone else who is not part of the Chikoto's household should go back to where they came from.
We as the police officers, we are warning members of the public to abide to the regulations of the COVID-19 which were set by the government of Zimbabwe.
As the police, we continue to urge members of the public to always comply with government directives, particularly during this time of this COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, police in Bulawayo have engaged experts in a workshop aimed at equipping law enforcement agents with proper methods of handling dead bodies to prevent possible COVID-19 infection, as the government, and indeed the whole world, is fighting this highly infectious virus.
If a death is believed to be due to confirmed COVID-19 infection, there is generally no need for an autopsy to be conducted, and the medical certificate cause of death, which is the BD12 form, should be issued. Number 2, in cases in which death may be suspected to be due to COVID-19 infection, but in which infection is not confirmed, then samples to assess for COVID-19 should be collected under protection with standard PPE, personal protective equipment. Number 3, if the presumptive tests are positive, then no autopsy is conducted and a medical certificate of cause of death, which is the BD12, should be issued. Number 4, if both presumptive and confirmatory tests are negative, but there is a strong clinical history and the likelihood of false negative tests, then no autopsy is conducted and a BD12 should be issued. Number 5, if both presumptive and confirmatory tests are negative and the case is of a serious criminal nature, such as homicide, an autopsy may be conducted.
Be that as it is, may we as a security service find it prudent that all operational stations are equipped on the standard procedure of completing the Form 231 in line with the COVID-19 statutory instrument of 2020. Without further ado, let me at this juncture reiterate that we all have a duty to alert those under our command of the danger posed by this pandemic.
On that note, We take a short break. Join us in the second segment. It is the second segment of Crime Watch, and to those who are just joining us, welcome. ZRP Glenview are on an overdrive enforcing lockdown directives in their area of policing. In a recent visit to that area, Crime Watch spoke to the officer in charge, Glenview Police.
Recently, during the lockdown, we carried out some operations where we were targeting people who were gathering at public places. Especially in Glenview, we found problems in areas like Glenview Area 8 Complex and Glenview 1 shops. But we managed to arrest about 24 people for breaching the lockdown regulations. During these operations, we apprehended a woman who was selling beer at a house, and we managed to recover several crates of beer, and she admitted to a charge, and she paid a deposit fine. And we are encouraging members of the public not to unnecessarily gather, maintain social distance as encouraged. I want to urge members of the public that we are firmly on the ground, and we are going to arrest anyone who will be illegally selling beer and those who operate shabins.
Police in Mutare have arrested 4 people, that is a truck driver and 3 accomplices, for a theft case involving imported crude oil. The police reacted to a tip-off and found the quartet in the act. Let us hear more.
We received information to the effect that there was a truck which was being siphoned fuel at one of the garages in Nyagamete industrial area. We reacted to that information as police officers, and on arrival, we noticed that there were 4 people who were siphoning crude oil from a truck which was parked at that garage. We then arrested the accused persons for theft and permitting unauthorized persons to handle hazardous substances, and we then escorted them to Mutare Central. The accused persons were all taken to court, and on the charges of theft, they were all remanded out of custody on 500 bail, and they are going to appear in court on 29 June 2020. On a separate charge, the driver was charged for permitting the other 3 accused persons to handle hazardous substances without a license, and the driver was remanded out of custody again on $300 bail, and is going to reappear in court on 29 June 2020.
Crime Watch also caught up with the officer commanding Police Mutare District, Chief Superintendent Florence Marume, who had this to say.
Muno Mutare tikusangana nedambudziko revanhu vari kusaifona petrol nedizili nemacrude oil. Tiri kusangana nedambudziko iroro pamarori anenge achipinda nepabhodha redu rekuMozambique rinopinda muno muZimbabwe vachipfuurira mberi. Saka pavanorara manheru pavanenge vakaungana nematengi ndopavari kubva vaita uori ihwohwo hwokusaifona maoil nepetrol nemacrude oil. Nenyaya yekuti tine mapurisa edu atakadeploya ari muarea nevanhu vedu macivilians vanenge vachionawo kuti zviri kuitika apa hazvina kunaka. Tiri kuwana information yakakwana, matip-off, isusu tichikurumidza kunoreacta tichikwanisa kusunga vanhu vacho vese. Yambiro yangu kuvanhu ndiri kuti tisaregere vanhu ava vachipfuurira mberi nekuita uori uhu, nekuti hune njodzi huru mukati medunhu redu inokwanisa kubatira moto tese tikatsva.
Still in Mutare, police have recovered 3 vehicles that were smuggled using fraudulent means.
We received information from our reliable informers that there was an accused person who was in Dangamvura and was in possession of 2 motor vehicles smuggled from South Africa. Having heard the information, we proceeded to Dangamvura, which is one of our high-density suburbs here in Mutare, and we managed to recover a Toyota Fortuner, which was grey in color. The accused person was also in possession of another Toyota Hilux, a GD6 type of motor vehicle, which was hidden in the central business district in one of a well-known garage. We proceeded there and recovered that motor vehicle. So the accused person produced the government $31,000, and the accused person is known as Iprafas Machaya. On the 30th of April 2020 again, we received another information to the effect that there was an accused person who was based in Chikanga, which is also one of our high-density suburbs, who was in possession of a Land Rover Discovery 4, which was hidden at his place of residence. We reacted to that information, leading to the arrest of that accused person, and we managed to recover that Land Rover Discovery 4.
Muno Mutare Central District, tikuita dambudziko revanhu vanopinza zvinhu nemudondo vari kusimagira zvinhu kubva kuMozambique uya muno muZimbabwe zvisiri pamutemo. Vamwe vanopinza nemotikari chaidzo vachishandisa mapepa efeki kuti achizama kudzivirira kubhadhara duty. Yambiro yangu kupublic ndiri kuti ngatisiyanei nenyaya yekunyeperwa uchipuhwa mapepa efeki uchipinzwa muchipinza motikari zvisiri pamutemo. Ngatidzidzirei kubhadhara duty pabhodha, ngatidzidzirei kupinza zvinhu zvedu nepabhodha mune zvakanaka, tirege kupinza nemudondo.
Moving on, the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe continues to play a pivotal role in preaching the gospel of compliance to lockdown measures. They are also calling for adherence by all road users to road rules and regulations.
In this level 2 of guidelines and demands towards the containment and prevention of the spread of the deadly virus, the COVID-19 virus, we are witnessing the hustle and bustle of traffic on our roads. This is both vehicular traffic as well as human traffic. With this hustle and bustle of traffic, there are temptations to speed. So we realize some of such drivers are speeding on the open highway as well as in the road networks within our urban settlements. This has resulted in some very serious and fatal accidents. Even minor ones are not acceptable given the cost of maintenance and the cost of human life, which cannot be replaced by any kind of insurance cover. So we would like to continuously urge our motoring public, our drivers. The driver is the main actor, main actress in the road traffic crash matrix. We want them to obey all our road rules and regulations. People must sober up to the situation. People must not treat driving as if they have started all over again, as if it's something to write home about and say, I have been driving. No, everyone can be driving, but we want you to sober up. We want you to make sure that you don't run through red robots. It is happening because the people are taking advantages of the limited movement, and those that are permitted to move would think that they can move the world with them. Pedestrians, we know we are wearing masks. I'm not too sure if the masks are going to cover the ears, because you on the road are supposed to be listening to traffic, supposed to be always on the right, facing oncoming traffic. Let's make our roads safer and the best in terms of civilization, in terms of courtesy, because the opposite of courtesy is road rage. We don't want road rage. We have to focus on containment and prevention of COVID-19.
Crime Watch takes another break. Join us in the third and final segment. Welcome to the third and final segment, and thank you for staying tuned. Criminal Investigations Department, Homicide Harare, have arrested a man for robbery. The suspect pounced on his unsuspecting friend and robbed him of 1,800 United States dollars. Let us hear more.
What actually transpired is that the complainant and the accused person are known to each other. They have been friends for more than a year. And they met prior to the robbery, that is on the 7th of May 2020, where the complainant was seeking for help to secure around 5,000 US dollars since he wanted to travel to Zambia. The complainant that the accused person had agreed to meet the following day, which is the 8th, so that the accused person would have secured those sums of money. And on the 8th of May 2020, The accused person phoned the complainant to the effect that he had secured around $1,000 from his aunt, whom he said was staying in Ganyo. Then they drove to Ganyo on the instructions of the accused person. And he was made to park at a certain residential site that was still under construction. The accused person then got inside the building of that house, and after some minutes he came back and said that he could not locate the auntie because she was said to be in a meeting. So they were supposed to wait for close to an hour. They waited for an hour, but nothing came up. So the complainant decided to abandon the whole process, and the accused person then told the complainant to park at a secluded place. The complainant started counting his money. It amounted to $1,180 and stashed it in the dashboard of his car. And he began concentrating on his cell phone. That's when the accused person produced his knife and stabbed him several times. The complainant managed to escape from the scene, but he was followed, overpowered, and stabbed several times again until he was left unconscious. The accused person then took the complainant's vehicle and drove it to Borodo police station, where he made that fake report that they had been robbed. Whilst he was making that report, the complainant managed to seek refuge at a nearby house, and they took him to Western Clinic. That's when CID homicide was then advised by the officer in charge, Highlands Police, that they were having a robbery report which looked suspicious. And at the same time, we also received a call from Western Hospital, the fact that they had a victim there who was saying that he had been robbed by his friend at knife point. That is when we sent our team there to Highlands Police Station, and we managed to arrest the accused person whilst he was still making his report there. And they recovered from him an amount of around $960 US, which was in his undergarments. It was blood-stained, as well as his T-shirt that he was putting on. It was also blood-stained. Then he admitted having robbed the complainant of his money. So my message to members of the public is that we should not keep large sums of money on ourselves, but we should rather put the money in the formal systems, for example, the banks.
In another case, Criminal Investigations Department, Commercial Crimes Division, Northern Region, arrested a 39-year-old man for fraud involving fake EcoCash transactions. We spoke to Detective Inspector Majejete for more.
We received a case of a criminal who fleeced the complainant of money amounting to $4,306. The criminal would come to the shop of the complainant, which is in Makomba, that is in Glenview, Harare. Then he will make purchases of grocery items. He would show fake EcoCash messages to the two operators and then leave with the grocery items. When we received this information, we swiftly responded and apprehended the suspect. The accused person has since appeared in court. We would like to urge members of the public, particularly business persons, to always verify all money transactions before issuing the groceries purchased or items purchased to the clients. Like in this case, what happened is the mobile handset, which had the merchant line, was in Chegutu, while the transactions were being done in Makomva, Glenview, Harare. So the verifications could not be immediately made by the complainant. So the message is always verify all electronic money transactions before you issue any service.
We managed to visit the complainant, Mr. Petros Nyamutora, at his shop, where he narrated how he was fleeced of $4,306 Zimbabwean through these fraudulent EcoCash transactions.
We encountered a fraud case at my shops. It was concerning a gentleman who was a regular customer at the shop. He would come and order some groceries, and he would show the girls at the tills a fake EcoCash message. The guy came and he did the same thing. My wife asked the girls at the tills, how did this guy pay? And they said he had used EcoCash. She checked the EcoCash phone, and there was no transaction showing that he had made the purchase. So we made a trap so that next time when he comes, we'll be able to catch him. The guy came back again, and he did the same thing. I checked on the phone and there was no transaction confirming that he made the payment. So I told them to rush and get the police, and the suspect was apprehended. When we did our books, our accounts, just to check how much we had lost from this guy, the amount was totaling $4,306 over the past 2 months.
Before we come to the end of this week's episode, we'd like to highlight some people who are on the police wanted list. In Mashonaland East Province, Murewa police are looking for Lincoln Zaware of Mosha village at Chief Nyajena Uzumba for having sexual intercourse with a minor. Murewa police are also looking for Blessed Madziva of Kazonda village, Chief Chinyerere Fungwe for domestic violence. Moving to Matabeleland North Province, Dolarai Dube of Mantsono village, Chief Siansali Binga is wanted for fraud by Wange police. Lastly, Neva Duve of Mashley Investment, Fort Rixon in Matabeleland North Province, is being sought by Fort Rixon police for stock theft. Anyone with information that may help in the location of any of these people should contact any nearest police station or contact us on the following details. Our National Complaints Desk number is 0242 703 631. Visit us on our website www.zrp.gov.zw. Email us on feedback@zrp.gov.zw. You can also link with us on our Twitter handle @PoliceZimbabwe or like us on our Facebook page, Zimbabwe Republic Police. To those who may have missed any of our previous episodes, do not despair, as you can watch all Crime Watch episodes on our YouTube channel, Zimbabwe Republic Police. As I sign out, we need not forget to stay at our homes and avoid unnecessary movements. We also ought to maintain social distancing at all times. Repeated washing of hands with soap and sanitizers is a must among other recommended habits to stop the spread of this highly infectious virus. We also remind you to cooperate with law enforcement agents at various checkpoints across the country. Until we meet again next time, my name is Elliot Kudzai Ganyani, not forgetting the tireless efforts are being put by the crew behind the scenes. The message is stay safe and stay healthy. See you next time.